So creativity is very much related to knowledge. And that's why Eve, what was the sin of Eve? Knowledge. What's the problem of women? Knowledge. What's the problem of women? Their head. That's why they want to cut their head, you know? The veil is cutting the head of women. Because when you cover your head, it means it does not exist. It means like that. When you cover your head, you say, well, I'm a body without a head. And that's the philosophy. In fact, the philosophy of the three major religions in the world, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, started with the Jewish philosophy that women, God created women as bodies without a head. And when she marries, then her husband becomes her head. You know, the hierarchy. That woman at the bottom, and then her husband, her head, and then God above the man. So the head of man is God, but the head of the woman is her husband. So the veil came in history from this idea that women are created by God without heads, a body without head. So they should be ashamed of being incomplete, so they should cover their heads. And in one of my books, I said, how this is very contradictory. How come I don't have a head and cover something I don't have? You know, it's not logic, you know? And also what I discovered two things in this philosophy. That number one, God created me without a head, so I should be ashamed of my incompleteness. But it's God who created me, so he is responsible for that. It's not me, you know. So when you study anything, even in science, not only in religion, there are a lot of contradictions in science, in medicine, like female genital mutilation. I studied that the clitoris has no function, you know, from the British, because in Egypt we studied medicine according to the British medicine. We were colonized by the British. So I studied medicine that the clitoris is a foreign body, a male body in the female body. And even Sigmund Freud said, he built his psychology that the clitoris is a male organ in a female body. So how come? This is pseudo-knowledge. This is ignorance of the woman, and that's why they cut the clitoris. And this is contradiction also, because if the clitoris has no function, why they cut it? You know? Why they cut it if it has no function? So everything, in many things, when you reread any of the books that we inherited from religion, from medicine, from science, it's full of contradictions. Because exploitation is based on contradictions. And contradictions is in lying, and deception. So we are deceived all the time in schools. And we need creativity to undo this deception. Creativity to connect and try to understand the truth of myself, of my body, of the society I am living in. And that's why creative people go to prison, because they are dangerous, of course. They are not obedient. They are disobedient. They are dissident. They want to change the world. And that's why they go to prison. They are even killed. If you read history, you find many men and women killed just because they had different scientific ideas. Look at Galileo, or anybody who changed the world in relation to science or religion. So I think I just wanted to let you understand that creativity is nothing light. It's a very serious subject. And it's few universities that really has a course on creativity. I am not allowed to teach creativity in Egypt. And in the United States, many universities canceled my contract when they heard me speaking. When the president was in the audience and heard me speaking like that, he was afraid. He said, oh, she will provoke the students to revolution. And they canceled my contract in the United States. So it's not, creativity is something very serious. And without creativity, we could not have been in Tahrir Square. Because, you know, it's accumulation of true knowledge that we are living under a system that is corrupt, dictatorship, exploiting us. Mubarak stayed 30 years in Egypt, and millions didn't know. Of course, few pioneers did know and wrote about that, but when the majority of people start to know, and that's the difference, the gap between the elite and the masses. When the masses start to know, then the revolution happens. When the knowledge is only among the elite, like myself, doctors, writers, they go to prison, of course. But now nobody can put me in prison in Egypt, nobody, because there are millions saying what I am saying. So you see, we need to go beyond individual struggle into collective struggle so that we make a revolution. So where is Sarah? How many minutes I have? Because I said, where is Sarah? I can't see you. You are you are here. How many minutes I have? How many? 7. Okay, because I want to open for comments and discussion. So I have 7 minutes now, and I would like to say that we need, you know, that's why I travel. In fact, I am writing a new novel, and I should stay at home and finish it. But then Sarah wrote to me, so I came, you know, which is disastrous to my novel. It's not good to cut my novel and travel, but I do it because I feel that really this communication, this meeting, and all meetings like that are very important. We don't have this in the university, but we need to talk, we need to discuss in a brave way, in a courageous way, especially on topics very, very sensitive, like creativity, women, dissidence, religion, sexuality. I didn't speak yet, not yet, because the time is so short, about sexuality, the relationship between sexual oppression and political and economic oppression. Why they cut children, girls and boys. What's this female genital mutilation or male genital mutilation? What's that? Why they do that and all that? So, but the point is just to put the seed of the revolution. I come here to put the seed of how we need to fight together, globally and locally. Now we use one word, which we call glocal. Glocal means global and local. As I said, we live in one world, so we need to fight together. And now now the revolution in Wall Street, in Europe, everywhere, prove that we live in one world, that the revolution should be universal, because it makes it more powerful. I felt more powerful in Egypt, in Tahrir Square, when I found that women and men in Wisconsin, Wall Street, in Spain, in Italy, revolting like me, and in Greece, and even in Britain, they were saying exactly the same. When I read the slogans of men and women in Wall Street, they were saying exactly what we said in Tahrir Square. Justice, freedom, dignity. They were against unemployment. They were against capitalism, imperialism. They were against war. So we have the same goals everywhere. And that's very important. And it's very illuminating to us. Those days are very important. And that's why we should follow what's happening in other countries. I follow what's happening everywhere, and you also, you follow. But some people, most of the people, they are very, very limited to the interest of their family or their country. You know, they don't open up for the whole globe. But the whole globe is our globe together. And we live in one world, in one globe. I would like to finish by speaking about the counter-revolution in Egypt, because many people don't know who is after the harassment. Now, there is more harassment of women in Egypt, more conflict between Christians and Muslims. Even there is some idea to divide the country, as happened in Sudan. You know, and that's the philosophy of colonialism and imperialism and dictatorship and local dictatorship. They work together. Colonialism and external colonialism and internal dictatorship, they work together. Who is supporting the dictatorship in our region? Who supported Mubarak? Colonialism, the United States. Who is supporting Saudi Arabia, king, and dictators in our region, in the British France and the United States? Who brought Khomeini to Iran? I went to Iran 3 times before Khomeini. The Iranian Revolution started exactly like the Egyptian Revolution, secular. And it has social, economic goals to nationalize the oil of Iraq because they were affected by Mossadegh, who was removed by the US coup. So the Iranian Revolution started secular. And the Egyptian Revolution in Tahrir Square started secular. There was not a single Islamic or religious slogan in the revolution in Egypt. But what happened in Iran or Egypt? Khomeini was shipped by the plane from Paris to Tehran to abort the revolution and make it Islamic by the power of US, Britain, and France. You see the contradiction. You see how we need creativity to understand the maneuver of colonialism. That you can hear the US government speaking against Islamic fundamentalism, but they are working with them secretly. And usually, as I say, bin Laden and George Bush are twins. They are twins. They work together, but apparently they are fighting together. So the counter-revolution in Egypt, who want to abort the revolution and to divert it from its original goals, which were, our original goals was secularism. We need secular Egypt, separation between religion and state, equality between men and women and Muslim and Christians, no differences whatsoever between Egyptians in the country, regardless of gender or religion or class or anything. So these were our goals. And this frightens colonialism and local dictatorship. They are afraid of these socialist revolutions. They are not, those people who exploit us are not afraid of a religious revolution, because religious revolution is limited. If you look to the program of any religious party in Egypt, they say Islam huwa al-hal, means Islam is the solution, but no program. They don't have an economic program or political program or social or anything, no program. They say Islam, religion is the solution. It doesn't mean anything. It's deception. So we have to be careful that many of the secular socialist revolutions are aborted by counter-revolution who exploit the country because they are afraid of this equality between people. Because when we are equal, when we are united, then nobody can exploit us. Nobody can exploit us. Okay, I stop here. Thank you, and then we'll open for comment. Thank you very much. Thank you.